All right, people are chiming in that it's working. So here we are, a month of Wednesdays, the second Wednesday of the month. Here we are on January 10th. Start off with one that came from something Doc Watson said. Somebody asked, how you doing, Doc? And he said, well, I'm too old to drive the train, but I still love to hear the whistle blow. I'll send this out to the memory of my late friend Bill Schul. Bill Schul, I lived with him in Columbia, Missouri, and he used to work the trains. And I always think about Bill when I sing this song. This is all originals tonight. Everything, as Jim Watson says, came out of my round little head or with co-conspirators and co-writers. And I'll tell you who those co-writers are as we go on. When I was a young man and I was in my prime, I worked on the Katy and the good old Mopac line. Started as a brakeman, buddy, life was fine. But I'm looking in the rear view, all I see is time. I'm too old to drive the train, but I still love to hear the whistle blow. Started making railroad green a long, long time ago. Whether it's a highball or a freight winding slow. Too old to drive the train, but I love to hear the whistle blow. I worked up to conductor, we would ride all night. Finally get a little sleep just before daylight. Once we sidetracked at a whistle stop to get a little bite. A pretty gal who served the beans became my heart's delight. I'm too old to drive the train, but I still love to hear the whistle blow. Started making railroad green a long, long time ago. Whether it's a highball or a freight winding slow. Too old to drive the train, I love to hear the whistle blow. The Crescent serves New Orleans, and Southern serves the South. I'm an engineer for words that felt good in my mouth. Watch this. Been around that long time, and I know what diesel's worth. Railroaded long enough to go 10 times around the earth. I'm too old to drive this train, but I still love to hear the whistle blow. Started making railroad green a long, long time ago. Whether it's a highball or a freight winding slow. I'm too old to drive the train, I love to hear the whistle blow. Now I have a gold watch with my name inscribed within. Feels like I've just started, but I know I'm near the end. You might not want to hear it. Here it is, my friends. Your bones will rattle with the clickety-clack on that you can depend. I'm too old to drive this train, but I still love to hear the whistle blow. Started making railroad green a long, long time ago. Whether it's a highball or a freight winding slow. of the train, but I love to hear the whistle blow. Well, let me go here and see if, there we go. I'm looking to see the live stream and see what y'all are saying. Let's see. All right. There we are. Still going live. Still good. I'm just checking to see what's going on here. All right. So all originals. Here we are. So I am going to do one that I wrote with my friend Jim Lauderdale. He's a fun guy to write with. Has been working the last 40 years, becoming just indispensable in the world of Americana and bluegrass and roots music. This song came from something an elderly friend of mine said. I was checking in with him, and I said, "How are you doing?" He said, "I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. But heaven's in my view." And I thought, well, I like that. So. Clouds are rolling in, and the rain is coming fast. I will not pretend I know how long it lasts. I think of my companions and how they're growing few. Although my feet are on the earth, sweet heaven's in my view. When I was a young man, I thought as young as you, I would encounter falsehoods, but I believed them true. Now I watch the frost upon the ground turn into morning dew. Although my feet are on the earth, sweet heaven's in my view. How I recall the follies and the memories of youth. Held many birds in my two hands, I watched them as they flew. I'm listening for the sound of wings, I hope they're coming soon. Although my feet are on the earth, sweet heaven's in my view. I feel my soul a bending upwards from the clay. My earthly body sending me to judgment day. Now I am remembering everything I knew. Close my eyes one final time. Sweet heaven is my view. Boy, that's a lot of fun to play. My goodness. And much obliged to Jim Lauderdale for much obliged to him for writing that with me. Um, I'm gonna move back to guitar, and I'm gonna play one that I wrote with my friend Tim Stafford, and this is the first song, the first verse of any kind that I wrote after the pandemic started. When the pandemic started, I was just trying to get it where I could get music out, and um, and so I was I don't usually get I don't usually have dry spells in a creative way. I was I was completely dry, completely, and so eventually I wrote something that said, "I stand by you, although for now we cannot stand close by." And that was enough when I was writing with Tim. That was enough that that got me that got me up and playing and writing. And so I'm gonna play this for you, and I want to say a big thank you to Tim Stafford for being a great writing partner and a great friend. And we made it into sort of a Carter family song. I stand by you, although for now we cannot stand close by. A dark horizon won't deter the promise of fair skies. A single blink of time's long eye will let us meet again. So as doves call and shadows fall, think of your absent friend. The tempest round us ever rolls, though we are far apart. There is still a place for you within my constant heart. So do not open sorrow's door, lock it fast away. Keep the past and hold it close until that sunny day. path ahead is long and steep, the summit not in sight. We started in the blue-gray dawn, we'll walk into the night. Just think about the view we'll have 'neath the setting sun. Together there we'll join as one when all is said and done. In dreams I have foreseen the time when our paths shall meet, and there upon that joyful day our journeys both complete. No tear-lined eyes, no sad goodbyes, all will be as new. Into my weary sight, behold, your dear face comes in view. So behind my shoulder, you'll see that this is a way for me to stay in Raleigh and not travel. I've been traveling a lot, and it feels good to be in one spot for a while. And so I came upon this idea of Wednesday, a month of Wednesdays, where I'm staying in one spot. I'm giving a concert every week. If you'll look behind me, there's a PayPal. If you go to PayPal, it's my email address. Or if you go to Venmo, it's at Joseph-Newberry-3. And if you like what you're hearing and you want to, if you want to make a donation, that would be great. And if you don't have much after getting done paying your holiday bills, that's a-okay too, because this is just about me making music for you. And here we are. And again, I just want to thank the folks at Harry's Guitar Shop for being great citizens and great friends. And we'll at the end of the evening we'll give a demo of one of their good old Martin guitars they've got here. Actually, it's not an old Martin guitar, it's a new Martin guitar. But for right now, here's one that it's never been performed before. I wrote this with my friend Rick Lang. My granddaddy lived through the Great Depression. I'm gonna raise this a little bit. Let's see what we. I think it'll be there. So if you're playing along, it's in the key of D, capo 2, out of C position. It's called Just a Handshake. My grandfather lived through the Great Depression. He had stories that could make you turn pale. He made it through some hard old times and some unemployment lines. But somehow he lived to tell the tale. He came from days when your word was your bond. folks were as honest as the day was long. Grandfather said, little trust is all it takes. No need to sign on no dotted line, just a handshake. Grandmother fed 10 kids on a preacher's pay, but she knew how to stretch a recipe 10 ways. She'd say use it up, wear it out, or make it do. That's how she lived her life, it's all she knew. She came from days when your word was your bond, and folks were as honest as the day was long. Grandmother said, a little trust is all it takes. No need to sign on no dotted line, just a handshake. As I grew up, I took those words to heart. Of course, my folks had more wisdom to impart. And now I realize my kids look up to me to show them all the way things can be. I tell them, live your life with your word as your bond, and look for folks as honest as the day is long. I always say a little trust is all it takes. No need to sign on no dotted line, just a handshake. No need to sign on no dotted line, just a handshake. I had a good time writing that with Rick Lang. He's great. I work with him on the IBMA. He's the head of the songwriting committee, and just a good man. And so the other thing, I travel a lot. I mentioned that I'm here for the month of January, staying pretty close to Raleigh, but I travel a lot. And one of the things that I love about traveling is running into folks that just cross my path. So I've got a couple of things that I carry in my vest pocket all the time, wherever I go. The first, I was playing a show in Berkeley, California, and a woman who follows me on Twitter came up to me and she said, I worry about you. I worry about you on the road. And I make these little angels. And I want you to carry it so the angel will keep you safe. And it just knocked my hat in the creek. And so I have this with me always. And it's going right back in the vest pocket. And I'll share something else that I always carry in a couple of other songs. So one of the songs that I love singing and playing, and I play it when I'm on the road with April Virch. It's the first song that I ever wrote with my friend Cy Khan. I love Cy's music. Cy's songs are part of the fabric of the music that we all wear. He's an amazing writer and an amazing friend. And um, I met Cy when he would come hear me play with my friends Jim Watson, Bill Hicks, and Mike Craver, the fellows who started the Red Clay Ramblers. And so Cy, he literally uh, called me up out of the blue and said, "Hey, would you like to come to Charlotte, North Carolina, and write with me at my studio?" And I think by the time he hung up, I was there, and I knocked on his front door, and he opened the door, and I'm not exaggerating. He didn't open the door. He flung the door open, and he said, "Here's a chorus. Write some verses." And so I did. And this is the title cut of a project that I did with April Virch called "Going Home." This song is called "I'm Going Home." I've wandered far away from friends and everything I knew. I left my home, I left my kin. Sadder yet, I left you. I'm going home, I'm going home. I have been away too long. I'm going home, I'm going home. Did you miss me while I was gone? Did you miss me while I was gone? This hard old world, it beat me down till I was black and blue. The music gone, no more the sound, nothing left I found true. I'm going home, I'm going home. I have been away too long. I'm going home, I'm going home. Did you miss me while I was gone? Did you miss me while I was gone? As I lay down in some old barn, I dreamed a dream last night of you. You said you'd keep me from all harm if one favor I would do. You said, come on home, come on home. You have been away too long. Come on home, boy, come on home. For I have missed you while you were gone. I have missed you while you were gone. Did you miss me while I was gone? I have missed you Old Cy. I'll tell you what. When I told my friend Jim Watson that I was going to write with Cy, he goes, "Oh, just wait. Oh, just you wait," because he said there's a reason why they call him Cyclone, because he can just write and write and write. It's like a bottomless stream. So I'm going to play you a song that I wrote, and I'll play it on clawhammer banjo, maybe a little finger pick banjo too. I do a Patreon page, patreon.com/Joe Newberry, and if you I do different things. I'll write about road life, and tips and techniques about being happy and healthy and sane on the road. And I have another level which is about writing, writing the writing life. And then I have one called Wood and Wire, and that's guitar and banjo. They're not lessons as such as they're just me playing and explaining. So I have a friend from the UK named Kirby Watson, and I bet he'll watch this later. And he wanted to have a little bit of Missouri Borderland, a song that I wrote some years ago. Not exactly sure where the borderland is. It's where you want it to be, I guess. In my mind, in this song, the borderland is sort of up north of Kansas City, in that hard and bloody time right after the Civil War. I'm far away from home, with neither family nor friend. I never meant to stay so long in the Missouri borderland. 3 years ago, I held a job. I saw the world from my pony sway, riding drag on a dusty mob. I knew I'd worked when I drew my pay. Times got hot, Lord, times got mean. I fell in with desperate men, and one night, the worst of them laid out what was an awful plan. Did not like such wicked talk of murder and bold robbery. I told those men that I would walk, but they all aimed their guns at me. Did not like such wicked talk of murder and bold robbery. I told those men I would walk, and they all aimed their guns at me. Their prisoner I did help rob a bank, and much gold we did attain. They shot a bull just for the sport stood and watched his young life wind. Such dreadful sounds I've never heard. His mother's wail filled the room. She looked at me, she spat these words, "Devil take you to your doom." I turned to face that murderous crew. I shot them dead, I killed all four, and the only thing I did not think of that before. The posse found me outside the town as I was laying there to pray. From a gallows high I will lay down into a dark Missouri grave. So hide the rope stains around my neck. When my mother sees me dead, please don't let my brothers take the fateful path that I chose to tread. I'm far away from home, with neither family nor friend. I never meant to stay so long in the Missouri borderland. And now I'll spend eternity in the Missouri borderland. Well, as Watson says, that one, no co-writers. It just came out of my round little head. So I'll pick up the guitar again. I'm just going to check in and see how folks are doing with comments. Oh, folks are liking that. Hello from England. Hey, Chris Stern. Wonderful. Wonderful. All right, so I mentioned something else that I carry all the time, and that is this. Let me see. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but I'm going to show it to the camera. If you are from the Northeast and you say, that looks like a Garden State Parkway token, that's what it is. I ran into a fellow at a camp, and he said that he makes these for people who travel a lot because he just likes the idea of a reminder of the way things used to be, and that's sort of what this music's about. And I was so touched that he would give it to me. So, I'm so lucky to run into folks like this. Do one that I wrote with my friend John Lowell from out in Montana. We always thought that this one would be something that you might hear Doc Watson sing if he were still around. It's kind of a little tongue-in-cheek and a little bit sassy. And it's called "I Ain't Done Nothing Lately." This is the first time I've ever played it anywhere. John is recording it, but on a new project, but I've never sung it. So we'll give it a try. If you're gonna do it, don't have a net and just try it. I always raise a little Cain, at least when I am able. If I don't change my rowdy ways, I'll wind up under the table. I'm frisky as a lamb in spring. I have not lived sedately. I've done a lot of foolish things, but ain't done nothing lately. I went to town the other day, not looking for no trouble. I went out with a pair of twins, now all my woes are double. I'm frisky as a lamb in spring, I have not lived sedately. I've done a lot of foolish things, but I ain't done nothing lately. I bought myself, I bought my gal a pawn shop ring. She proceeded to berate me. Done a lot of foolish things, and that's what I did lately. Oh, Lord, it's gone from bad to worse. I fear there is no hope. Did I just lose my chestnut mare, or did I find a rope? It's fun to write with John, and I'll do another number after a bit with that we wrote together. But I want to do one right now that I wrote with my friend and playing partner, Mike Compton. Uh, he is he's a one and only musician and a one and only friend. He's a great guy, and I love playing music with him. And over the pandemic, we started writing a little bit together. And so this is another one that has a little bit of a Carter family feel. It's called Home in My Heart. Better. I've built a home in my heart. I take it wherever I go. Homesick can't find me, and that's a good start as I travel this old weary road. I've built a home in my mind, a refuge where ill winds don't blow. No stormy horizon but solace offer, and home fires forever aglow. Be it ever so humble, so humble. Be it ever so humble. I've built a home in my soul, one that makes me smile again, solid and strong to bear any toll, and made to shed tears just like rain. I've built a home in my song. How it will end, I don't know. No reason or rhyme, I'll keep traveling along. I live each line as I go. Be it ever so humble, so humble, so humble. Be it ever so humble. Thank you for that, Mike Compton. We'll be out on the road coming up this year, and we've got some good things, fun things planned. Lots of festivals and venues, and a couple of music camps too. So you can check us out. You can go to mikecompton.net, or you can find me on Facebook and Twitter and wherever you want to find me, and you'll see my schedule. So um, let's see if we can do one that this is unlike any co-write I've ever done, and that's because the first stanza of this song started as a one stanza poem that my grandfather Sterling Price Newberry wrote in 1910, and I was working on a recording project with my friend John Shane, the great blues player and writer who lives in Durham, North Carolina. And the producer, Dave Tilley, said, I want one more song, sort of maybe a little unsettling, a tad lonesome. And I said, well, my grandfather had a poem that we just found going through my aunt's papers. We found a sheaf of papers that said Sterling Newberry 1910, and this was one of the things in it. It was a poem called Reminiscent. And Dave said, well, can you tell me what the stanza is? So I said, I have felt the sting of Spanish starts down in old Mexico, and I know the pain of bullets hot as through the flesh they go. I've ridden through the ice and snow out on the western plain, and felt my blood turn chill and cold neath the icy rain. All these things will hurt you, yet they cannot compare with tempest in the human heart, which cometh unaware. And I said, I've always loved that, but it's just one stanza. And Shane said, well, I've got a melody that would work perfectly with that. And again, I said, one stanza. And Dave Tilley, the producer, looked at me and he sighed. Oh, if only there were a songwriter in the room. Guilty as charged. So I wrote a second stanza, and I had a great time trying to match Grandfather Newberry's tone and his use of language. And so I'll play it for you, and it's called Reminiscent. Here's Sterling's verse. I felt the sting of Spanish darts down in old Mexico. I know the pain of bullets hot as through the flesh they go. I've ridden through the ice and snow out on the western plain, felt my blood turn chill and cold neath the icy rain. All these things will hurt you, yet they cannot compare with tempest in the human heart, which cometh unaware. Here's my verse. I've heard the hiss of bad men's knives down in old Arkansas, and howls of the Indian tribes in many a lonely draw. I've watched steam rise the lowland by the river's muddy shore, watched death welcome foes and friends through his eternal door. All these things will scar you, yet none can leave a mark like hearing I have been untrue as a whisper in the dark. All these things will hurt you, yet they cannot compare with tempest in the human heart, which cometh unaware. Thank you, Sterling Newberry. Thank you for being the founder of our family. I'm so lucky to be from a family that loves the way words roll around in our mouths. And so, speaking of family, I'm the last of my sis is gone, my mom and dad. All of my mother's brothers and sisters are gone. Dad was one of 7. My mom was one of 10. And they're all gone. I was at my cousin Joanne's house in Ozark, Missouri, and we were looking at family photos. And I thought, one day my picture's going to be on that wall. So during a writing session, I mentioned that to my friend John Lowell, and he said, well, we need to write that. And we did. And so here it is, Sweet Shadows. My family now, they're just pictures on the wall. Their voices only echoes in my mind. Sweet shadows of the past help me recall the way they were before this wall of time. There's my dad and mama when they were newlyweds, their lives before them fresh as morning dew. It's so strange to see dark hair on their heads and my face reflected in their features too. My family now, they're just pictures on the wall. Their voices only echoes in my mind. Sweet shadows of the past help me recall the way they were before this wall of time. I know someday my photograph will hang there, when future generations study me, they can look my way as I gaze through the years. There's no better place to spend eternity. Or I wish I'd known my parents' better. I can see their kindness beaming through the frames. Those photos and a packet of of old letters makes me happy that I bear their name. My family now, they're just pictures on the wall. Their voices only echoes in my mind. Sweet shadows of the past help me recall the way they were before this wall of time. Sweet shadows of the past help me recall the way they were before this wall of time. Well, I always say it, if you don't feel it, don't sing it, don't say it, don't play it. So I'm going to give this a little try. I'll put this in Doc Boggs country blues tuning. So we'll give that a try. We've got time for a couple more. Next week we'll do songs of love and death, which with this kind of music. I call this Joe's Blues. When I was my mother's child a long time ago, my cares and my worries were few. I have grown, so have my woes. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know what I'm gonna do. When I left my father's house, made my way, the world was at my command. But I have come to the end of the day. I don't know where I'm gonna stand. I don't know where I'm gonna stand. I've been up and I've been down this long, lonesome road. I've been lost a time or two. I always thought I could not be controlled, but that was before I met you. That was before I met you. It's love, pure love, that cut me like a knife, the mark of man's oldest foe. Until I come to the end of my life, I don't know where I'm gonna go. I don't know where I'm gonna go. When I was my mother's child a long time ago, my cares and my worries were few. But I have grown, and so have my woes. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know what I'm gonna do. All right. Time for one more, children. Then we'll be back here next week. Same live stream time, same live stream channel. I would appreciate it if you've enjoyed what you've heard, to think about dropping a little bit of something in the PayPal and Venmo. If not, that's okay too. All right, so I'm going to end up here with a song I wrote with Tim Stafford, and it's about guitars. It's about, as you can tell here at Harry's Guitars, we're surrounded by them, and new guitars. Well, this song was about an old guitar, my old guitar, my J45, 1949 J45. And I was getting ready to retire it from the road. I didn't want to take it out much. I wanted to leave it for recording and for playing at home. But it's sort of like its owner. It's a little bit beat up, and so I went to my friends at the Pre-War Guitar Company in Hillsborough, North Carolina, and I took my old guitar, and they took my neck and measured it, and they recreated that neck on their J model, and they put that, and it plays. It's a great road guitar. But the thing is that when you ever hand anybody an old guitar, if they're a musician, this is the first thing they do. They smell it. And this one's getting a little bit of smell to it, but not like the old J45. And so the other thing that Tim Stafford and I were talking about when we were writing this song is the fact that instruments, doesn't have to be a guitar, instruments of all kinds, they take on the mark of your hand. They take on the mark of your belt, or rubbing untold times against your belt buckle, or on my old guitar there are divots in the back where they used to, somebody who owned it before me had an old screw capo, and those divots are sort of iconic to me. So they did not put the divots in this guitar. But I will say that this guitar started pristine, and this is my wear pattern, and it came out over the pandemic. So anyway, this is a song that Tim and I wrote called "The Marks," and I'll leave it that with you, and I'll come back for one more goodbye, and then we'll see you again next week at 7 p.m. Eastern for a month of Wednesdays. I sat there a while, didn't want to go in. I finally opened the door of my car. I went in the church. There on a stand was my grandfather's old guitar. The smell of the wood filled the room like so many times before. It was like he was saying, I'm not really gone, but boy, I can't play this box anymore. That guitar smelled like whiskey and tears, dust from dances and cigarette ashes, Old Spice and gin with herringbone trim, but mostly it smelled like him. So I took it home, I held it up to the light, and I saw things I'd never noticed before. I turned it over, and I saw the marks of every belt he ever wore. The neck with its divots like valleys and hills, old threads worn from play. The finish was cracked, rain saw daylight close as the last judgment day. The outside looked like cradle to grave, with dust from dances and cigarette ashes, a top paper thin with spidery skin. Mostly it looked like him. All the marks, those proud battle scars of endless nights in nameless bars, he left his mark on country boards and old guitars. So now when I play it, I hear whiskey and tears, dust from dances and cigarette ashes. A long time to spend with a song that won't end, and mostly I sound like him. I try my best to sound like him. Thank you, everybody. To quote our good old late friend Clyde Johnson, that's all we've got for tonight, folks. And let me just say goodbye, good luck, God bless you. Don't worry too much about nothing, because everything ain't going to be all right no how. We'll see you next week for a month of Wednesdays. If you take a notion, PayPal or Venmo, I'm your boy. Here we go. All right. You all take good care, and we will see you next week.